sound of an iron head is unmistakable. That was fun. What a cool piece. What's happening, guys? Check this bad Larry out. This thing's just absolutely awesome. I was over at my friend Wayne's house. Unfortunately, a mutual friend had passed away, who was a Harley aficionado, who had an FXRD, one of the rarest FXRs ever made, and a beautiful full dresser. And I ended up buying both his bikes and his truck from his widow. And while I'm at Wayne's house, Wayne is a drag racer. He's a multi-time championship winner. Him and his son drag race motorcycles and cars, now mostly cars. Wayne's the same age as me. And when I met him, his son's like, Dad, Ken seems like your long-lost brother. We like hit it off big time. He's like, we're cut from the same cloth. He's my age, and he's a lumberjack and by trade and a racer by hobby. And he's just an awesome dude. And in his garage, he goes, hey, I got an iron head. Would you like to see it? And he opens the door, and I heard angels singing. And in the back of the garage was this iron head. And I was like, Wayne, this is my favorite motor. He goes, well, I want to sell it. And, you know, I need money for, he wanted to sell it to raise money for his race cars. And he basically wasn't using the bike, so decided he'd sell it. And you got to come around this side of the bike. This is a really special piece. This is a really special iron head. Yes, it's a classic. It's a 1974. It's almost 50 years old. Last year, the right side shift. It has the original 74 Sportster spring front end on it. And it's just badass. The motor is tight as a tiger. Wayne hadn't started it in, I think he said 2 years. But he runs race fuel in it. He brings it out of the garage. It starts second kick and starts idling like those motors you hear at the fair. Chug, 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 potato, 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 you know, like really low, way lower iron than he knew Harley would do. And he's like, yeah, this thing is awesome. And he gave me a number on it, and I couldn't shake his hand fast enough. I said, listen, I'll buy it. I can't keep it. I'll go through it, clean it up, fix it up a little bit, but it's going to go up for sale. I'll ride it a little bit. So I've been riding it for the last month or so here at the museum, and it's an awesome piece. Just something about the straight pipes, the backlash from the straight pipes, just this profile right here. You can see the serial number 4835447H4. That's original 1974 Harley Davidson engine, cylinders, head. He has upgraded the clutch to a Barnett clutch, so and he did upgrade the kicker. Check out this brass kicker. Doc spent about 2 hours just polishing this brass on this thing so it shine like a new penny. So many cool custom-made pieces on this bike. Wayne's friend, who is an engineer by heart and a welder by trade, engineered this system. It has the same shocks. These shocks, guys, this is not a hardtail. It looks like a hardtail. These shocks are off a Harley Davidson softail, but they're the upgraded FX progressive shocks like you'd find on an 86 to 99 softail Harley Davidson. They're the actual top-line progressive shocks, or a $350 pair of shocks. The swing arm, you can see, is the original Sportster swing arm. It's been stretched about 8 inches and heavily gusseted, and it has a linkage-less system, much like the softail has. Very similar design to the Harley Davidson softail, and it's freaking awesome. Listen, I had back surgery 2 years ago. I don't like riding hardtails very much. I like riding them, but I don't like bouncing down the road. It's bad on the back, so this thing looks like a hardtail, but it rides like a softail, and it handles really good. It's stable at high speed with a long swing arm. The guy that built this, Wayne's friend who built this, originally built it to be a either dirt or sand drag, a hill climber, or a dirt drag bike, or a street drag bike. The only thing you'd have to change, nice FXR it's ripped by, huh? The only thing you have to change is the rear tire and the rear sprocket, and you could take this thing hill climbing or dirt dragging. A lot of handmade custom parts on it. The swing arm, the shock mounts. Look at the oil tank, all hand fabricated, polished aluminum. Just a beautiful piece. Solo saddle. It has a flat black Harley style. This is an OEM reproduction of a 70s Sportster tank decal with the number 1 on it. It's got the custom-made Harley Davidson logos on the side, same color as the XLCR Cafe Racer. We put the decals and the graphic package on it. Doc also put his personal touch. Doc detailed this thing. I got the work order inside. He spent better part of a day and a half on it, polishing all the aluminum. He painted the gold bolts here, and up on the head. There's little gold bolt details everywhere. It's got the Evel Knievel #1 custom-made logos. I had these made by the sign connection right here to match the gold. Just a beautiful piece. 6-inch risers on drag bars, which is appropriate. Little shorty mirror. The original Sportster front wheel. The tires on it, the Metzler on the rear, and the Goodyear tire on the front. The Goodyear just has so much character to it, I couldn't bear to take it off and put a new one on there, so I left that on there. But if you're going to do any high-speed running, you'd want to upgrade from the Goodyear Sport Rib. But take a close-up of the side tread on that tire, Kenny. See where it says Goodyear right here? It just looks badass. This thing belongs in the museum. I'd like to keep it, but we were shut down for 4 months because of the COVID, and we're having a big auction to raise continuation funds for the museum. Starts Saturday. This bike will be on auction this Saturday. May the best man win. And let me tell you, this one's Kaplan America approved. Starts up easily, runs really good. The chain was replaced on it by Wayne. The rear rim, take a look at the rear rim up close. The chrome on the rear rim is in like brand new condition. I believe the rim and spokes were replaced, but I believe it's the original hub. The exhaust on this bike, now here's another thing. I got to mention it. This is a handmade custom exhaust. The dual exhaust, the rear cylinder exits on the right side. The front cylinder exits on the left side. You got to take a close-up. You got to blow up a picture, one of Kenny's pictures. You can right-click on them and download them to your computer and blow them up. And look at all the custom fabrication on this thing. The way the frame was modified in the back, the hand-built exhaust, the hand-done swing arm. I mean, you're looking at, if you bought this bike to a chopper shop or a fab shop or a race shop, said, hey, I want to make my 74 Sportster a Softail, stretch a swing arm 8 inches, hand build me a custom fender, hand build me an oil tank, rebuild the motor, put an S&S Super E carb on it, and a new clutch and a paint job, you're going to have a $10,000 bill when you walk out the door. So you can't build this bike for what it's going to be sold for. Absolutely not possible. Decent iron heads. Good stock iron heads. We sold a stock 74, 100% original one, a red one, auctioned it off about $9 grand. The Blue Book value on a 74 Sportster, I don't have it in front of me. I'll write it up in the auction, but I'm going to guess it's north of $10,000 because they're really rare to find one in good running order. So this thing is an absolute conversation piece. I love this bike. I wish I could afford to keep it right now, but we spent an awful lot of time and money working on the reality show with Discovery, and an awful lot of time and money on the museum, and we spent a lot more money than we had, okay? So I'm selling this for the same reason Wayne was. We just took it to the next level, detailed it to the nines, and we put the custom graphics on the rear fender right here. So just a cool piece. The battery box we put a brand new battery in it, changed all the fluids, put a new set of plugs in it, put a new set of points in it. It has been upgraded here. It's got the cycle electric generator here. Just a kick-ass piece, man. The headlight, the taillight work. Look, do a close-up of the taillight on this thing. It's got a custom. This is one of the things Doc noticed. Doc said, man, I love that taillight. It's badass. It's got the stop light built into it. Handmade license plate holder. And again, progressive shocks on the front. Harley spring forks on the front, so it rides nice going down the road. It's just badass. Right down to the white pegs. Junior, is there anything you'd like to add about this badass machine?
No, man. I think you hit the nail on the head. The charging system, the rag rectifier there, it's something, if you bring an old iron head in the shop here, we almost always see that on the work order. So the thing's been gone through, and it sounds good. And, there's no hiccups in the entire demonstration here, which these iron heads, sometimes they can be a little bit cantankerous, the irons and the shovel heads, unless they've been thoroughly gone through. But no, man, I haven't ridden this one yet, but good impression for sure.
There's no leaking on the head gasket, no leaking on the base gaskets. The primary is tight. It's got lots of cool stuff, like the overflow hoses have billet aluminum clamps holding them together. It's got the heat tape on the headers. Just to bring a bike like this to a custom shop and say, hey, fab me up a custom exhaust. Dude, you can't buy an out-of-the-box exhaust for worth its beans for $500 today. To have a custom-made exhaust, slant cut like that, the labor alone is going to kill you. So this is what a classic labor of love, one that was done and passed from friend to friend and then sold, and now you know, it's going up for auction. So we have 150 bikes being auctioned off at the museum this weekend, starting Saturday morning. This is one of the classic Harleys on the list. We also have a 59 Pan and a bunch of new Sportsters and Ironhead, all kinds of cool stuff coming down the pike. But this piece speaks for itself. This is one of a kind. You can buy a 72 Sportster or a 48 Sportster or a Fat Boy. They're a dime a dozen because Harley made 360,000 of them back in this day. Back in '74, Harley's production was like 26,000 bikes, and of the Sportsters, you know, there was thousands, not 100,000s of these made. Okay, only thousands, and most of them got run into the ground. Becoming a very rare piece, and a lot of them got shipped overseas or run into the ground in our parts bikes now. So look at the profile on this thing, man. Evel Knievel meets Steve McQueen, badass. Meets Paul Pincinel, the 5-time national hill climb champion. See what I'm saying, folks? I could keep going, but you get the idea. I'm rolling it back in the museum. Call us if you have any questions, 860-454-702. This is American pride right here. God bless America. Easy to start. It started his first kick for Wayne after sitting for 2 years in his garage. Paul Markham, a well-tuned bike. Headlight and taillight work beautifully on it.